See, projects are usually not a success because people do not plan for them within time. They don't pray enough, they don't plan within time, and they do not push the amount of period they want to run them. But then, if you want to do a project like yours and you're given an extension of time and you say the first 3 months I'm failing, the first 1 year I'm failing, but I'm not giving up. The next time I'm not giving up. If you tried me and he did not get to you, next time try again. Maybe he was in his bad mood, and keep trying, and you will get one little click and the world picks you.
Hey, and welcome to the You Can Be Anything podcast, a place where we talk about every and anything that impacts our lives on this journey of becoming our best versions. My name is Solange Che, and I am your host. In this podcast, I share my experiences, I share my story, my successes, my failures, my fears, my challenges, all with the goal to inspire someone out there. I stand to tell you today that no matter how many rock bottoms you hit in life, there is always room for self-improvement. So do not give up on yourself, because we are all unique in one way or the other. And because we have different stories and tackle life from different angles, I bring in guests to share their experiences, their stories with us, to give us tips on what they are doing and how they are doing things differently. Remember that in life, there is no one size fits all. So my goal is to be able to provide a repository where my audience will be able to come back to and say, hey, there was this guest that shared his or her experience on a specific topic, and I would like to gain some more insights from that. So it also serves as a knowledge base. I hope you get the best value out of this, and that someday you will come back to be my guest. Thank you for being part of the You Can Be Anything tribe. Hey, once more, welcome to yet another episode of the You Can Be Anything podcast. I'm your host, Solange Che, and it's been a fortnight, which means I have been able to find another amazing guest to come up here and talk to us, right? I try to find the people who will be able to motivate you, educate us as we go through this journey of life. And so this time around, I was able to catch someone that I have followed for a while. I do admire a lot, and I'm so humbled that he said yes to my invitation. And today he is the guest on the You Can Be Anything podcast. Together, let's welcome Alenne Menget. Alenne Menget.
Thank you so much. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much, Nee. Thanks again for accepting my invitation, and welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to everybody who's watching us. I say hello to all our fans. I say hello to my own fans because I definitely have to broadcast this too. We are here, like you said, that you're happy, accepted. There's no way we deny anything that's got something to build our society. So I'm happy to be here, Solange.
Thank you. I'm honored. So again, if you're watching this, you're my follower, you're a Cameroonian, you've definitely seen or heard about me somewhere. He is a lot of things, right? So when I did my little research on him, apart from Lee, I know the part of him that I am very, very much, let me say his comedy. I love his comedy. I love the way he talks in his comedy. And I also love the fact that he's a great chef. I love men who cook. So that is a good one. So Nee is a comedian, he is an actor, he's also a filmmaker, an investigative journalist, he's a lot of things. This is what I know about Nee, but again, I will not do justice to him if I don't let him tell us a little bit about himself. So Nee, please kindly tell us, who would you say Nee Alenne is?
I'm the son of John Menget, Esther Menget. What am I again? I'm gifted with the gap by God. So anything that is being spoken in between the gap of the teeth, I know how to do it. I could speak, which means all the businesses of talking. I could be hosting journalism. I'm witty, I write. I'm an investigative journalist, written and done about close to 300 documentaries. I decided to try hands on movies. Became Best African Actor 3 times. So I sing, I play the piano. I've been a long way all through this, and I hate talking about it sometimes. But since you say your program is the one to inspire other people, I would like to say, apart from all that, I decided, like you said, learn how to cook because I'm complicated with food. And so I decided to choose mine when I realized that one of the few things I could get in this world without demanding too much was food. So I thought I could get the best food in my lifetime by cooking what I want. That's how I got there. And yeah, pretty. That's me. If I keep talking, I'll like I
That's
told you,
great.
I'm a giver. I got the gift of the gab. If I start talking, I'll talk a lot. So I always
Right.
prefer to be. I mean, for my profile to be read, because each time I want to talk about my profile, it looks like I'm bluffing, which is not part of my mentality.
Thank you so much for introducing yourself. And again, even though you were so modest, we appreciate what you've said. I went online and I was trying to read a little bit about you just to see, because one place that people either tell you how much they like or they dislike you is the comment section. And I bet you that there were a ton of people who had a lot of beautiful things to say about you, which means that in our Cameroonian community and in again Africa and the world at large, there are people out there who are looking up to you. There are people out there who admire the way you carry yourself. Some of the things that people said online was always stuff like, "Hey, you are gradually building and changing this cinematography sphere in Cameroon." Another person said, "You are an epitome of simplicity, wisdom, and strength. That the story of the movie industry in Cameroon cannot be complete without you." And another person said, "You are an inspiration all day and every day." These are the things that fellow Cameroonians are talking about, are saying about you. This is what they think about you. It must have taken you a lot of, I know you talk about grace, but it also has to do with work. I never want people to underestimate how much work they put in to get to where they are. Would you say that getting to where you are today with all the things you did, are there situations in life that led you into diversifying because you do many different things? Were you trying to satisfy a part of you, or it was just passion that led you into all these different industries that you're involved in Cameroon?
I come from a very, very negative background where a lot of people don't have confidence in themselves. I come from a primitive educational system where you are trained of taboos at certain jobs like movie acting and music were taboos in the days that we grew. And I come from that background that even families will not accept their kids to do certain jobs. I come from a background where immigration is the order of the day. If you do not travel out to Europe and America, you're not given respect. So, with all those in mind, I totally wanted to change a mentality that you could still sit in Africa and build Africa by sitting in Africa to prove a point that you could still make a name in where people think they do not make a name. So, I have been steadfast. I've had a zeal. I have not given up. I've passed through the turbulences, but I stood on mine and took decisions to stay on. So it's because of my background that I decided to stay steadfast. That's why I like the most comment about me to be my simplicity, because I see a lot of young folks today who have not seen anything that I could really see their career, know when it's going to end, who are already above the earth, not knowing what some of us have gone through to want to build what they are enjoying today. So all this is because of first of all, I'll still tell you the grace, because without God, lots of our folks have died within the line. Lots of our folks didn't make it to where I am. A lot of our folks are still down there. And so I'll first of all thank God for the grace. Secondly, yes, I put a lot of energy in work. That's why I'm diverse. That's why I'm versatile. That's why I come today online. You realize I have an inspirational page where I want to talk to people how much you could build plans in your life. If plan A is not going, you match it. You just need to discover your talent and you focus on that, because lots of people have even better talents than me, but they are not working to make sure that these talents work. So it's hard work. And the most important thing, without put the last, it's positivity. When you come from a society that's very negative, but you decide to be positive, you do not go into positive pages on the social media, no matter how much they get negative on you, you decide positive, you mind your business. I think you will definitely get to a certain high level. I don't want to say where I am because I should not be an example. I'm not too proud of myself. So I don't think I should be the example people should follow. You should be yourself. I still look myself like the cook or the waiter, and there are some people who cannot fancy that kind of mentality. I look like myself like the one who enter Hollywood and he'd live in the biggest hotel and get back to the village and work a farm. And majority of the people cannot live the double life I'm living. My true personality and manage the crowd that follows me.
That is right. But one thing for sure is also that the reason you're able to manage these things, my perspective, my view, is the gift of humility. And I bet that it has to come. If we look at our community today, if you look at the Cameroon entertainment industry, you are big there, right? There's not a lot of noise around you. You do what you have to do. Again, I'm not sure I can remember.
There's not a lot of what?
There's a lot of noise, like negative energy. I have not come across that a lot. Maybe there is, but I've not seen a lot of negative energy and trolling.
I will not even do that for no reason. And when there is a lot of tension, like now in the United States, the layman saw me in a limousine. The layman knows that I launched a new movie. The layman, so I know that the enemies are not happy. So that's why tomorrow morning you need to see me in a total different form, like an Ingwari comedian, trying to bring myself low so that nobody fights me. That's it. So if you want to look at me important with the suit, I make you look at me as less important with the pants.
That is working for you. And for real, it is working. And I bet that the people that are watching you, in as much as you say you don't want to put yourself out there and say your people should be like you, be rest assured that there are people out there who are looking up to you. They want to be like you and they are copying you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I have my phone number is out there. I'm not hiding it. It's even on my Facebook page. And lots of these young people want to be mentored by me, and they call me directly. They go on WhatsApp, and at a certain point, I feel it terrible because I cannot mentor a lot of them. Which means truly, yes, I'm loved. Truly, yes, a lot of young people admire me, and I have to really tell them to face the facts and understand that it's out of 10 people that I became who I am. So I'm not discouraging people, but I'm telling you there are lots of turbulences that you need to pass through here, and there are many difficulties that you need to go through. You've been with me since morning. Well, we've been trying to do this, and I keep telling you I need to rest. I don't need to go out. I'm not a free person like I used to be. I can't go to the circuits that I want to be there because anything that comes out of there will be me. I can't go to public places anyhow because I have decided to live this life. So there are many rules and regulations that you will have to pass through. It's a difficult thing, but lots of people have talents. Look at the young man that I used to talk about, great, with Fish, the artist. He was with me always, and I kept telling him, I made a long video about him, because when you're giving talent and you don't manage it well, you shorten your life. You bring enmity, you end up with drugs. And so you end up with excitement. You end up doing a lot of womanization. You end up being commanded by a negative public. You end up being shamed. So it's the difficulty is not showing out the talent there. It's also the receptive aspect or how much you are mature to handle bullets. I've just become the person that they don't throw stones at again until I brought in the policy of, okay, I don't need to settle matters on the social media. You have a home. If you're there, I'll come over. So I'm not all that good.
Yeah, but again, the fact that you're not trolling on social media, it's a good one. And I think that that's one of the things that attracts people. And people are wondering how you dare to be successful, do the great things you do, but yet you still stay humble as you are. Again, nobody says you're flawless, but the way you handle things is just different from how other things are run. So I do appreciate you for sharing that. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, and again, if I did not say it at the beginning, me is also motivational speaker. I followed your deep episodes on your page, and I did listen to them. A variety of different topics that you handle in all those short episodes, and I'll bet you that they do make a lot of sense. So again, if you're listening to this and you might just want to check out Ni's page, and you'll see this short advice, like just motivational speaking, his perspective on different things in life that I bet that I found very, very educative. Another thing, again, we're talking about your comedy. You recently made a skit about Engwari as you came for your Kuva premiere. And for some reason, I enjoyed the continuity that you put in that whole Engwari skit. That is a talent. That is not something that you just print out from somewhere. No, you have done about 2 or 3 other episodes since the first episode that Engwari threw you out of the house. And I just enjoy that. The fact that you can bring out that continuity in comedy. And I know that our CamComic, the comedy industry in Cameroon, I like them. It is a good comedy, it's a good industry, but they still face this whole issue of people complaining that they are becoming so repetitive or they are becoming boring. We know how our people are. They tend to slander more than they praise. What do you have to say? Being a comedian, I want to use that part of you. I'll touch the other aspects of you, but being a comedian, what advice do you have?
I will have 2 facets. I'll have 2 facets to your approach. The first one is I prefer to call it a social satire. I use comedy to pass very sensitive information that people wouldn't want to get them. It's the reality that a lot of men are suffering in this country because they came in the hands of women. And if I go to say it like I'm telling you, people will not understand. But if I I wear a shirt and I go out there and do it, it will be normal. But if I put on a pant, of course, a pant which is a normal swimming pant and a $1 pant. A lot of people are saying is wearing a $1 pant, but you are supposed to put it because it's comedy, and you're doing a $1 pant to show that you just got here. And this woman is, I'm just giving you this because there are no explanations for some people who might consider their minds very limited. Now, This is what happens in the society. You may not go, but you exaggerate it to let people laugh. Now, in our community, if I just got there with a suit and I was dreaming out of that, it doesn't make sense. People don't want to see people in suit. People want to see you in your worst stage. That's the only reason they want to watch. You need to pull them to that worst stage so that they should watch. So that's it. That's one part of it. I use comedy to send out messages since I am a documentarist, and I send out messages through documentary. Like a journalist, I send out messages. Even in a movie, we send out these messages. I'm more of a developmental mentality. Now, comedy is one aspect to send out social satire. So social satire. If you want to criticize government and you bring it in a comic way, they will understand you. If you're teaching society, you bring in a comic way, they will understand you. So that's how I'm doing it. Before I get to the second part of your question, I've been looking for strings. These female pants, because I'm supposed to have shot the continuity of quality. I'm supposed to reconcile, but I don't know where to get strings here. People are not coming to pick me up and give me strings because I actually have to. The next day, there should be continuity. I need strings. Think like that sent me out of house. How do I reconcile? It just goes to show the reality of what is going on. Some of these women, the men are cleaning their pants. It's a normal European mentality, but the truth is, down where I come from, a man does not want to wash a woman's pants. The Indians are here; they have not changed their attitudes. The Chinese are here; they have not changed their attitudes. Why are African trying to change their tradition into American tradition? So that part. Now, as for the CamComics, I don't believe in those days. I used to carry the movie industry in my head. I used to carry the comedy industry in my head. I have a set of very rude young actors and comedians coming up. They have seen their first money and they think that they need to be rude. They think they're already above the ceiling. So I'm not into politics right now. I don't care what they do. For the good ones who come near me, I mentor them. I'm not going to enter their politics. I'm not going to be part of any group. But then I'm happy you people can watch. Some of them have finally come back because you realize the level at which I operate. Some of those big ones. But the major comedians in that country they will tell you, and most of them finally at some point when they thought they had arrived, they tried to hit back, then came back.
Yeah, they realized.
About the greatest Chris Pasto and the rest, all of them. I used to take them out every December and distribute them for weddings to become, weddings that I was paid to be comedians. I took and subcontracted to them without taking a franc, paid their time. They always meet me and say it, but the things they say behind, what they tell me in front of me is thank you, but when they go to public, they are competing with me. So we are living on a flat. For those who want to learn, you could also learn from my approach of things, not necessarily learning when I come in front of your company or in front of CamComics or the film industry to talk. If you admire me a lot, follow my method. I don't need to. I was thinking about something here today. I didn't know we'll get to this question. You know, Denzel Washington.
Oh,
you know,
sure. Yes.
You know Schwarzenegger. You know Schwarzenegger.
Yes, I do.
You know Eddie Murphy. Have you ever seen them answer questions about movie politics in America? No, they are actors. No. I'm a performer. I'm not interested in the politics. If I have a good script, I read. I'm not interested in the politics. I'm not excited about the politics anymore. I used to want to carry in my head. I wanted to blend it, but I realized that I was using a lot of energy of production to be fighting. So whoever wants to grow should grow. Whoever thinks my method is good to go. There are many other ways of succeeding. Maybe they are better than me, and who knows? So maybe they are on the right track. It's just your impression that not, and on my impression, maybe they are just so good.
Yeah, again, that is what you're saying. Again, as people who consume this, we just give our own perspective, right? As the consumers of what the producers of this comedy and movies do, we just consume and we give our feedback. Like we try to be critics, but again, we only try. Recently, I saw you make a show, an advert on Film Room. Can you please tell us a little bit about Film Room? What is this? What is Film Room all about?
Film Room is a marvelous project, and I'm so happy by induction I'm part of it because the guy who is doing it, who's behind the brain of it, is called Musing Derrick, and it's one person that I brought to my mentality status. He's one of the biggest we have in productions. When the war started in Bamenda, I told him to come over and stay with me. He's like a junior brother. He's like a blood junior brother. He's the only person that if I'm sick, he's the one who knows almost all my things that I don't have a huge family. I'm happy it's him. And because of that, very respectful when he gets to me. So I've been following his vision. Film Room is, I don't want to compare it with Netflix, but I want to start bringing that idea to you. I don't want to compare it with Ayuba. I don't want to compare it with the Nigerian. They have theirs. But let me give you a brief explanation. After they were selling cassettes and tapes in Iweka Road in Nigeria, they started by building up these VHS tapes and moving and selling from households to DVD. So they had their Iweka Road, which was the center of selling. Now, afterwards, they realized that the world had gone to the internet and they looked for their own possibility to sell their movies online. That is how they got to Iroko TV.
And Magic.
Yes. No, African Magic is TV. We're not talking about television. I'm telling you about something you could use your phone. Something you could choose to watch. The televisions have always been there, but I'm telling you about the digital television where you go yourself, you put your finger and you succeed in watching what you want to watch. So that's a different. That's Iroko. It's an online stuff. Amazon is an online stuff. So then, this is an opportunity for Cameroon to get an online stuff. It's bizarre that a lot of folks out there, Cameroonians, have been expecting us to do the performance, write the scripts, act the movies, and come and do the marketing of the movies. We've been criticized that our films are nowhere. And each time, they don't ask me that question anymore because I usually have one answer. Why don't you take the film somewhere? I've already acted the films. Are there no marketers in our society? Go to the marketing department and ask why they are not marketing our films. You do not come and ask me a good performer that I have won internationally. The Ghanaians love me. The Nigerians love me. They market me. So why can you not market your own? So the problem is not us. Back to Film Room. Film Room is an app that you can go now to the App Store and just download it and follow instructions. And with just a small, tiny piece of money, 150 francs, you're watching a movie for 7 days. A Cameroonian or an African movie, we all go for 7 days. This goes to enhance money to produce movies, money that will finally get to the actors, and consider just 1 million people watching for 150. That's 150 million. If one film could be watched by 1 million people and it has 150 million people, shall actors still be lazy and making noise? They'll make money.
They'll make money. That's true. Interesting. So which means the films we have in Cameroon now, again, for example, as Kuva, you're here for Kuva, when everything is released, we'll be able. So if I'm subscribed to Film Room, I'll be able to watch Kuva on Film Room.
Cameroon is very complicated. The owner of a film may not want to sign a partnership with, it depends now between the owner of the film and the owners of Film Room. And it's not just Cameroon. Film Room has partnerships with other films. You shoot your movie, you go there, and you people broke a deal. If Film Room is paying you block, they pay you in block and own the rights of the movie. Or if they want you to share, if 150 is coming and they want to share, you're taking 75, they take 75. It works. It just works like what you have Uber here. Uber. Once you're in an Uber costs money, the driver costs his, and it's online and it works.
Oh, great. Interesting. I actually just saw the app again. I saw it, but I did not check it as you're talking. I just checked out the app on Google Play, and I'll definitely be looking into that to get it for myself as well. And again, so if you're watching this and you want to see more Cameroonian films on your phones, we've now become mobile people. We look at everything on the phone. You probably want to check out the Film Room app on Google Play. Is it on iOS as well? Is it
on iOS? Okay. The last time I checked, there's even my image they used. They say check iOS and...
Okay, great. So check out Film Room. I'm using my iPhone, so I cannot really check, but I was able to check on a Google on an Android phone, and it's there. So just check it out, and for a little fee, we get to watch our Cameroonian movies, and I bet that it is a good place to start. I saw it, and I wanted to use this opportunity to ask you more about it. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, Nick, please. You just talked about you wanting to cook because you are maybe very picky with food, and you learned how to cook. Personally, I find men who cook very, I don't know if sexy is the right word, but I love men who can cook. I'm attracted to men who can cook. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm talking to my kind of man today. So it kind of made me blush a little bit. Please tell us a little bit.
Are you married?
I'm a single woman, so that's why I can talk about marriage.
Go ahead.
Also, please tell us a little bit about your inspiration behind Ni's Kitchen. Since you opened your Ni's Kitchen restaurant in Cameroon, after being to Cameroon, I'm always looking forward to being there and actually enjoying just when I look at just the pictures and everything, I'm like, wow. this is amazing. I've seen videos, pictures of food and all of that. What is your inspiration? I know it's because you earlier mentioned that it's because you wanted to be able to cook your own food the way you want it to be. But yeah, you could cook at home. Why Ni's Kitchen?
Yeah, the story continues. I had a funny appetite. I could want arrow this evening, and the next morning I don't like arrow. I want rice, and there's no way you have to be troubling people about what you want. I don't have a peculiar meal I want to eat. My appetite changes. That is why I decided to cook my food. Now, when the war started, like I told you, my younger people came. Lots of them came. Filmmakers came. So I had a big house in Douala that they were there, and they had to feed. So now I was struggling. I was doing the barbecue. Part of it was to get fun and eat always. And come on, they had just come, so I had to do a lot of this thing. Now, when these people, like the owner of Film Room, started making money, I wanted them to buy the food. So I had to, people, they were going to their houses, so I had to call them back in the radio to come and give me my money back. So you see again, like the guy we're talking about, Musing Derek, is actually the brain behind my ideas, because most of the times, when I do things, he's the energy. If I want to give up, he comes behind and pushes. And so we did the Ni's Kitchen thing. He put a lot of energy there. Now, I'll explain it to you again in another fold. We don't make money. We actors, the filmmakers, don't make money. It's now that I'm at that level where I could sign contracts like MTM Ambassador. But majority of those guys don't make money. I couldn't make money. I forced a lot in building my first house. It was extreme hard work, doing all facility, the comedy and the rest. So now, I'm very huge. I'm Ni, and you people criticize. My car is no good. My shirt is no good. What do? I had to look for something to sell as Ni, and everybody is selling T-shirts with their names, and everybody wants to sell cups. I'm smart enough to want to sell food, so I'm just using a brand from my popularity to sell something, since my business that I'm popular for that cannot fetch me the kind of money that I need my quality lifestyle. So I actually went into the kitchen and opened restaurants because I wanted to stand the standard. I repeat, stand the standards of what I wanted to live, since I don't want to be a liar to say that filmmaking is making money at this stage or was making money at that stage in my own part of the world. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is using passion. Again, I'll talk about food. Food is one that I grew up in. My mom brought us all up, 7 kids in a restaurant, selling just 2. You have variety. She did sell just achu and watafufu and eru. And we grew up with that. And today we are the people we are. And we always give grace to her, because the food business is one that never really fails you if you do it right and keep your customers right. I bet that with your experience and your exposure, you know your customer service is definitely making your people come back, because you definitely know what you're doing. So thanks again for sharing that. When you talk about Ni's Kitchen, you said locations. You have different locations for Ni's Kitchen?
My dream, if not of the fact that I had to do other investments, was to do it around the country and even do it in the United States and London, which I could still catch up that dream. But right now we have those 2 locations in Douala and Daido, and also Douala Bonamusadi. We have an uncompleted location in Limbe. Actually, I've fallen out of crisis. I was in another project. So I'm bankrupt, but trust me, I'll be on my feet. So
yep, definitely me. You will be.
Because sometimes you do a lot of investments and you forget your comfort. You do a lot of investments and you forget some other things. So I realized I was doing a lot of investments, and when I started reading books, and I realized that there was so much I had left behind investing without keeping security. So I had to come back, build some security for myself.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'll have to just touch you here and there. You do so many things, and I definitely just want to get a little bit more insight with you from your point of view. I know that you talked a little bit about the film industry. In as much as I've talked about Ni's Kitchen, Ni the chef. We've spoken about Ni the comedian. One of the parts of you that stands out a lot is you as an actor. It's you, the role you play in the movie industry. Let me call it that way. If you were to change something or one thing in the whole movie industry in Cameroon, right? And let's say your goal is you want to target prosperity and sustainability, what would you change? What is something that comes to your mind that you think that is being done? It's probably not being done the best way today, and that if you had the power, or if you know that you could just give that word and everybody will respect it, what is that one thing that you think you'll be able to change to make our movie industry better?
The groups Negativity. People have formed groups and they are fighting each other instead of working. The negativity, gossips. There's a lot of talent there, but there's a lot of pullback. I am just a different kind of thing to have gotten to this stage. It's not easy, especially for a man. I repeat, a man with capital M-A-N to become me in the industry. For women, it could be easier because a lot of the rich people who are men decide to sponsor more of the beauty than the art. They decide to sponsor more of the what they could gain from privately than what they will gain from artistically. So they will want to come and do that. They will definitely want always to draw a line between a beautiful woman and a good actor. So we've given them that room to do that. Now, from within, there are also very huge problems. There's a lot of bluffing. People who do not do movies but are very famous on Facebook, and they decide to come and announce that they are doing movies. They are in all premieres, well dressed, but they have no profile in movies. You start thinking of them, they have never shot any, but they are everywhere. They are giving the wrong perspective out there to people about how the movie is. Then the real workers are behind the not seen because they don't have a marketing plan. So I'm just looking at a day where Chekere, Fufu Gogo, under Chekere Gourmet on top. And for many years, they have been doing this. And Fufu is gradually going under. So there will be a day where all those talented people will be known. And the bluffers who make a lot of noise online and fight the fight, the mentality will change and people will now support reality. Yeah. Because another thing is a lot of people who have come in with money from diaspora to invest in movies have lost and can't come back because they meet the bluffers online who bluff and finally take them through the wrong route and make them spend a lot of money, and they don't give them a marketing plan. At the tail end, they fail and they can't invest again. I mean, you cannot even convince me, Solans cannot convince me to get your money and do a movie. Because you listen to gossips, which of course, of the family members, which of course you listen. So at the tail end, I'm not talking about me, but there you have these sweet talkers who will convince you, and you shoot a bad movie, and later on you start regretting. So there are so many compartments that we need to work at. But I think the most important things have already been done, and I should remind you, the most important things include talent. We have serious, beautiful talent down in Cameroon. Stories. We have stories never told in Africa. Remember our migration stories. It's never told in Africa. We're a bilingual country that the Germans came, the English came, the French came, the whole of Europe came. Those stories have never been told. We had 260-something tribes with different languages. We have the highest amount of stories. We are Africa in miniature. Our independence, these stories have never, ever been told. So it's a rich ground. Lots of people are coming to invest in our technical background because we have the best cameramen, we have the best editors. We have all this. They are there. But what is killing us is also us.
Yes. What you have said just leads to what I was going to talk to you about, because again, there are people who are out here, there are young people out there, even not only young people, even people who are very interested in this industry. And will you say that, again, I know that you've spoken about this a little bit, but I want this to come out more like a direct question. Like, would you say that there is opportunity for newbies? You talked about it's harder for the man to get an opportunity. Will you say that there's opportunity for newbies, whether they are actresses and actors or movie directors, producers, writers? You're just confirming that there is a lot of opportunity for that within the movie industry.
A lot has changed. We fought in Cameroon. 5 years ago, you could not see a single Cameroonian on the billboards. Today, you don't see one foreigner on the billboards. It's artists, actors who are on the billboards. What I wanted to let you know that even here in the United States, it is not the movies that give all the actors money. It is how much you build a positive mentality to your personality. Then the products will now take you to advertise them. Now, for those actors who are there for the notorious reasons, because I always tell people that becoming popular is either because you're very notorious or you're very famous. For those famous ones, they're already making money. Look, Auntie Felicia, she's already part of us. She's part of the brand ambassador, just a few years in it. But there are people there who've been there for years who cannot touch those millions because they have used the social media as they have become so negative in popularity. So once you build an image in movie, remember, the more you go, it is very easy now. The products that are sold in Cameroon, they want ambassadors. They want people come. They want people with huge followings. They want people with huge moral backgrounds to sell their product. You could start from there. So there's a lot of opportunity in people who want to be as faces of movie in our country now.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. And again, one thing I also wanted to talk to you about is which means that we have the potential. There is an opportunity for talent to stand out. So it's not only about I know this person is doing this movie and is going to put this person there because they know them.
For most of those, I know this person. Those movies are already in the cartoons in going back to the village. The movies you see today, people will get their money back. I know this person is for mediocre movies, some small things that there are so many movies you have not seen, but the people put money there because I know this person. I'm putting money here because my sister has to act. I'm putting this up. That's the reason why we want to follow up every history. We want to follow up every point about a movie before we get ourselves involved.
That's nice. I'm impressed with the fact that talents really count, because when you go, again, I go to social media, I like to know how people think. I listen to what people are saying.
The mediocrity and the discrimination of favorism is not totally gone, still there, but it reduces. That one, we should consider it a point.
Right. So I'm happy to hear that, because the truth is, the reason I ask this question is because I think I've listened to someone say, no matter how good you are in Cameroon, if you don't know the right people, you cannot make it. I remember I was talking to some girl that reached out to me and said, hey, she really wants to she's tried to travel, that no, she did not succeed. And she really wants to succeed in Cameroon. And I was advising her, like, hey, one thing you can do is make little skits like It's the same thing we do in the tech industry, in the tech world. For me to put myself out there, when I tried to break through the technology world in the US, I made short videos because I wanted to show people what I'm able to do. Right, my resume was not enough. So it's the same kind of advice I gave this person who reached out on me on Facebook. I don't know her, but she was like, hey, you keep encouraging us to keep working hard and trying. If you cannot travel, try to make it in Cameroon. In Cameroon, you cannot succeed if you don't know someone. So my reply to her was, I'm checking your Facebook page now. Nothing there really tells me that you can make it.
Can I help you? Can I help you reply to the person?
Yeah, go ahead. I bet that you listen to this because she was my listener.
My name is Alenne Menget. I have succeeded in Cameroon. Come to this country 6 times, and there's nothing good about this country compared to my life back home.
Yeah. Good. So people do. Again, my encouragement was more like, hey, just do things. Make your Facebook.
You people should also tell them the truth. You guys look more beautiful because you have the capacity to get better oil. You have a good climate. You have you have better healthcare. You have a huge dollar power. Tell these little people out there the amount of pains you people have here from Mondays to Fridays. Tell them also how life is difficult. That's why a lot of them come here. And I'll tell you, our major actresses that we used to trust came here and they have disappeared in thin air. One confessed the other day, after many years, that she had gotten into drugs. That was a level of extremely by which they measured. That was their level. So it doesn't work if you do not have the zeal. I mean, you're coming here as an artist to do what? What African films do they do here? Who automatically enters the Hollywood? Yeah. Hollywood can only take me after my presentations down in Africa. Then they're now selecting for a role there. Then they collect you. Build a profile for yourself before you get an opportunity out there.
We go. Build a profile. That is what I told her. I was like, this is me on your Facebook page. I don't see anything that even shows. Do little skits and just do little acts so that somebody can look at it. And that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with, selling themselves, whether it's back in Cameroon or here in me. If you don't show people that you can do something, nobody knows what you have within you. So that was, that's why I was happy. I said I was happy when you answered that talent question. That yes, the movie industry in Cameroon does go for talent. If you show them that you can do it, they will be able to work with you. But you cannot just keep assuming that things are only done by people who know other people. So I do appreciate you for responding to that question. Me, I'm not going to keep you for too long again, but before, this is the you can...
Not keeping you for too long. You're so nice. You're so nice for keeping you for too long.
Yeah, but you know what is special about this podcast? You see, you hear how I call it, you can be anything, because my goal is to educate people, to encourage people that they can really work hard and do what they love to do. Right? One thing I'd love for you to do is I want you to be a motivation to someone who is listening to this episode. It could be around any aspect of life. You pick it. I'm not good. You know too much. That you know a lot of things. Let me put it that way. I don't want to narrow the words you're going to throw out here. I'm just going to leave it to you. This is the magical part of my podcast where you get to talk to that one person that cares to listen, and the message that could actually change their mentality. Please, Lee, the mic is yours.
Now, I come from a background of intellectuals who had wanted me to either become a lawyer or a teacher or a doctor, because that's what they think it's all about life. And I took many years fighting to become an artist with the people, both of my parents' teachers. It took many years, and it's more than 30 years of my living on earth that they started realizing that I was going to be a hero. Today, my father is no more the one who supported me, but my mother is here, who has become my biggest fan. My mother, who would have had high blood pressure many years ago, that I appeared as a kid with the pant, a swimming pant, is the one who sends the video to me that, look, this one is a different level of fun. So it goes to tell you that if you trust what you're doing and you're sure about what you're doing and you are willing to dare the things you do in the right way, I repeat, in a positive way, without committing any errors with the laws of the land, you go get it and you do it. But if you think you are not too sure, be careful. Out of 10 people who become what they want to become, only one might succeed. That's the reason why I'll bring you what I have told a lot of my folks out there. You need to prepare a plan 1, a plan 2, a plan 3, a plan 4. Now, my plan 1 in the world was to become a pianist. I wanted to beat Michael Jackson. I'm a singer, one of the best you will think. I do jazz and music. I don't do local songs. But then I have never succeeded in doing an album in jazz. When I was going through all that period, I realized that when I would become a huge superstar in life, I was going to be interviewed by journalists. And I started watching how journalists interviewed Bob Marley and Michael Jackson. I ended up getting the skills of journalists. And today I am one of the most successful in my country with more than 250 documentaries. I'm not sure somebody has half of what I've done, despite the fact that I've not done documentaries for up to 4 or 5 years. Now, before I got there, I started doing radio animation, and in the path of radio animation, I became a radio station manager. And one day, while I was talking on the news table, one of my interns from the university said, in my absence, that I bluffed a lot when I said Nigerians were not speaking perfect English in their movies, that we could do better. I heard it, and I decided to do a positive challenge. That same period, there was an auditions around in Cameroon with a Nigerian bandwagon. I went there, and they put me their lead actor, and that's how I became a hero to Sacrament. I'm now letting you know that I've not had my dreams as an artist, but I've had plan B as an animator. I've had plan B as a journalist. I've had a plan B as a documentarist. And now I'm going to have plan C, which is the actor. When I went to acting and I realized that it was very slow and there was a lot of quarrel, I couldn't work with the crowd. I did it with them. I decided to go solo, to be doing short comedy to build my popularity. And that's how I became a comedian. Put that one plan D. Now, after the plan D, and I realized that I had become too famous, my money was not coming, I decided to cook. And now, plan F, when I'm cooking and I realize that people do not, I have to come back and do comedy and join that plan B and E now and show people in the most funny way that I've cooked to come and eat. Now, my cooking also helps because I have known how to do publicity. So should I keep telling you more and more how it will be difficult for me finally fail? Because I have built so many plans around me. Now, when I started doing inspirational discussions recently, I told them that, okay, the day I will get through with plan Z, I am now with plan 1. And there's no way I can rush from plan 1 to plan 1 million. That is how So that's it. Now, if my plans are too complicated for you, let me remind you that the Bamileke man's plan is the richest one. That was Foku, not him. He started with a bunch of plantains and fowl. He ended up with he did all the matches we had in Cameroon. He did the tin tomatoes. He had the biggest companies. You see, it's because he had to add plans.
Different plans.
So now find the strongest point in life and do planning. If you're a footballer, remember, if you broke your foot for field, learn to do something else. Have a degree while playing football. Let me not talk the whole time, but I'm happy you asked that question.
Yeah, but again, I could just let you talk because each time you say something, I'm just like, wow, there he is again. I definitely appreciate this. And the truth is, reaching out to you and asking you to be a guest on my podcast, I had a fear in my heart, right? I reached out to my sisters. They're like, hey, are you sure he's going to say yes? Come on, that's your small platform. You think me is going to come to your small platform to talk on? I am so humbled by you saying yes and making it happen as soon as you did. It's not a very common thing within our community. I will not lie to you. I am the person behind the bike. I am the person that tries to reach out to people. So please come talk to us. And the fact that you said yes to this invitation, my sister, Thursday, this is going to go live. My sisters are still sharp. when I drop this call with you, I'll call them and say, you know what, I just spoke to me. Your humility, your simplicity and everything is powerful.
You keep talking about me, whereas you deserve the accolades. You're patient. You could understand when I was busy. We could make an appointment. That's what a lot of people do not know. So your patience, you should also think about, sometimes people are arrogant and you just can't stand the arrogance. Sometimes people do not understand when to talk and don't talk, and you're professional on that. Then secondly, which is most importantly, if the problem is the crowd, I have a following. I'll need to push your thing. I'll need to list some very important people you talk with. I want you to talk with Musing Derek on the film room. They actually need they need you as you need them now, because the whole world needs to know them. And some of these artists, you have to talk to them. And come on, you call them humble beginning, but these are the most fantastic things. Let me tell you something again about this life that I know I talk a lot, so this part of phone calls are coming. See, projects are usually not a success because people do not plan for them within time. They don't pray enough, they don't plan within time, and they do not push the amount of period they want to run them. But then, if you want to do a project like yours and you're given an extension of time and you say the first 3 months I'm failing, the first 1 year I'm failing, but I'm not giving up. The next time I'm not giving up. If you tried me and it did not get to you, next time try again. Maybe it was in his bad mood, and keep trying, and you will get one little click and the world picks you. The first movie that I won Best African Actor in Ghana, I didn't even know it was there in the competition. They mainly called as the producer. The important people took the movie to the competition, but I was selected. I keep telling people, the grace is there. Each time you have an opportunity, give your best. If you go into a movie production, they give you a 3 role. Don't be jealous of the man of 15 roles. Give your best for the 3 role. People will watch that 3 role. That's why there is the best actor for the leading role and the best actor for Waka Pass. Start as a Waka Pass and let people say, who is that Waka Pass for 1 minute?
Right. Oh God.
If you consider yourself like Waka Pass, as you like some growing some success already. But I know you're trying to be humble too. And you're trying to be humble. So.
Yep, of course. I appreciate you for, again, this is advice that I brought you here to talk to me, and the advice that you brought on here, leaving you, learning a lot from you, and just getting to know you more. And I pray that I want to do more of these kinds of things with you, of course. And I appreciate your time. I thank you again for making the time out of your busy schedule to talk to my guests. And any last words, then we can cut this off.
Those words I gave you now were the last words. Actually, I want to encourage you more than the fans this time. I want to encourage you. I'm there for you. Today, we don't only talk here. You have my number, so I want to encourage you and tell you, like, you're a good interviewer. That's what I learned. I'm a trainer now. I'm more of a consultant on these skills. You have them. You have followed the rules. I've seen your steps. If there was a problem, I'll tell you. But each time there's a problem, I watch. We will share, because I'm also a good learner. I've learned a lot while talking to you now. Remember, we started talking with lighting and the rest. So I think you just need to keep going and keep being positive.
Thank you, Nia. And I'm open to learning more, to getting better at this. You're the boss here, so I'm very open to that. Thanks again. And thank you, my dear listeners. We just had Alenne Menget, and for real, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope that you learned from all what he has shared. I hope that you reach out to, again, the few things that we've named in here, maybe the film room. If you're somewhere in Douala, check out Nia's Kitchen. If you're not following my podcast, please go ahead and check out the podcast. And just let us know your thoughts, your comments, your feelings are all welcome. Nia, thanks again, and you all stay blessed and be good to each other.
Thank you so much for being part of the You Can Be Anything podcast tribe. I appreciate you for spending the time with us. Please kindly follow the podcast on all the social media platforms at You Can Be Anything podcast. And if you like to watch the video versions of the episodes, you can find those on YouTube under my name, Solange Che. Please kindly subscribe to that channel. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you would like to support the podcast, there is a support button on the website www.youcanbeanythingpodcast.com, where you can click on to support the podcast. And for you who is ready to be my guest, do not hesitate to reach out either on the social media platforms or just email me at youcanbeanything21@gmail.com. I'll be happy to have you. Stay blessed and be good to each other. Bye-bye.